Hey, welcome back to my studio. If you're new here, my name's Morgan and I make all things party and event. And today I want to show you how to put together this Santa-inspired balloon pillar. It's a festive addition for any party or event you have coming up this holiday season. So follow along and I'll show you how to make it. To make the white tufts on the top and bottom of this pillar, I'm going to inflate 8 11-inch white balloons using my electric balloon inflator and this balloon sizer box, which I have a tutorial of if you'd like to learn how to make one for yourself. So I'm going to fully inflate this white balloon and then press it up against the 9-inch circle on the sizer box and slowly let out of the balloon until it just fits through that hole. That means the diameter of this balloon is 9 inches and I'm going to tie it off. I'm then going to repeat this with all my white balloons until they're ready to go, and we can move on to red and black balloons. Now I have 28 red balloons and 4 black balloons. I'm going to inflate all of those to 8 inches in diameter. Using the same process we did with the white balloons, I'm going to inflate the balloon, press it up against the 8-inch hole this time, let air out of it until it just fits through, and then tie it off. Once all those balloons are inflated, we then need to tie them into quads of the same color. So I'm going to take 2 white balloons and wrap the nozzle around twice and tie it in a simple knot. And this is going to create a pair. Now to create a quad, we need to make one more pair in the exact same way and then bring those 2 pairs together so that the nozzles touch, and then twist one balloon from each pair around each other, and that's going to lock them together into a quad. Then repeat this with all of your balloons so you've got 2 white quads, 7 red quads, and 1 black quad. Next, I'm going to inflate 8 5-inch gold balloons to 3 pumps of air each, and these are going to make little jingle bells that will come out of the spray on the top of our pillar. So I'm going to fill each of those to 3 pumps of air, tie them in a knot, and then I want to make sure they're nice and round instead of pear-shaped. So I'm going to roll them between either my hand and the table or my 2 hands, so make sure all of those are nice and spherical. To make this look like a jingle bell, I'm going to draw an X on the very center of the balloon using a black Posca paint pen. You can use any paint pen you like, you just want to pick one that doesn't have harsh solvents in it so we don't accidentally eat away the balloon. Across the center of the balloon, I'm going to draw a 2 to 3 inch line right across that center point, and then draw another line perpendicular to it so I have a nice X across the center. Now this line does not have to be perfect, just do your best. At the end of each of those lines, we're then going to draw a circle that's about a 1/2 inch in diameter. Once you've got all 4 circles drawn on the ends of the X, we're then going to set this aside to dry. Now you don't want to put this in a bag or anything before the paint has completely dried. So set those aside, and in the meantime, we're going to start working on the spray that we'll attach our jingle bells to. The spray is made up of 4 black 260s. I'm going to inflate each of these with 9 pumps of air so that they're almost completely full. So the end of your balloon should look something like this, and I'm going to let a little bit of air out so it's nice and soft before tying it off. Once I've got all of those inflated, I'm then going to find the halfway point of that balloon, and right at that halfway bend, I'm going to pinch the balloon and twist it a couple times. Do that with 2 balloons and then cross them so that where you've made that twist, they're both touching, and twist them around each other so you create this X. Do that with your other 2 balloons so that you have 2 of these X's. Then we're going to bring those together so that all those twists right in the center touch, and I'm just going to weave those balloons between each other so we have this fun cluster. Once I've got those secured together, I'm going to make sure these don't pop apart by wrapping an empty 260 right across the center of that. So just take that 260, making sure you cross over all the balloons and tie it in a simple knot. Not only does the empty 260 hold the spray together, the tails of this will allow us to very easily tie the spray to the top of the column. On the end of each balloon of this spray, we're going to tie one of our jingle bells. So take 1 bell and then wrap the nozzle of your bell and the end of your black balloon and tie them together in a double knot. Then trim away any remaining tail so it's a nice clean look. Once all 8 bells are tied to the end of the spray, we can set that aside and work on the final piece, which is the gold belt buckle. To make it, I'm going to inflate this gold 260 balloon to 6 pumps of air and then let a little bit of air out so the balloon is nice and soft. Tie it off, and the end of it should look something like this, and you need that space so that there's room for the air to go when we start making our twists. Now to help with this process, I'm going to use a ruler because each side of this belt buckle needs to be 8 inches. Starting at the nozzle end of the balloon, I'm going to squeeze it several times to soften up the latex. Then we need to measure out an 8-inch length, so start with the nozzle end and measure out 8 inches from that point, and then right at that point, pinch the balloon and twist it a couple times. That will make up the first side of our belt buckle. Then to make the corner of our buckle, we need to create a pinch twist, and to do that we need to first create a 1-inch bubble, so make a 1-inch section twist the balloon several times, and then you're going to bring the two long sides of the balloon together so that they touch, and then the twists on either side of that bubble, we need to twist around each other a couple times, and that's how we create a pinch twist. By adding that pinch twist, we've now put a right angle in our balloon, and this is the beginning of our square. From here, I'm going to repeat these steps until I have 4 sides. So I'm going to soften the balloon with my hand, measure out an 8-inch section, and then create a pinch twist. After you complete each pinch twist, you want to make sure the balloon is turning in the right direction. So you want the square to be flat, and the balloon is always turning so that we end up with a closed square shape. So at this point, I have a U shape. I'll add another side, which will start to turn it back into a square. Once you get to that 4th pinch twist, that's when we're going to change it up a little bit. So here's the last side. I'm going to make my final pinch twist, and then once you've completed that pinch twist, you'll have a little bit of balloon tail remaining. Hold on to the very tip end of that tail and then nip it gently with a pair of scissors and let the air out slowly. Once you've let the air out of that end, you're then going to wrap it around that final pinch twist and create a knot, and then trim away any remaining balloon. Now we need to join the two ends of our square together, so take the nozzle end of the balloon and wrap it several times around that pinch twist to secure it all together. Once you've got the ends joined, you can play around with the pinch twist to make sure everything lines up nice and square and flat. Now that we've got this piece made, we can finally start working on assembling our column. I'm going to be building this on a 5-foot tall balloon stand, and this is a DIY version I made out of wood and a 5-foot long section of PVC pipe. If you'd like to learn how to make a stand like this, I'll have the tutorial linked above for you. But for today's project, let's go ahead and start adding our first set of balloons. And that's going to be our 9-inch white quad, and I'm going to slide that quad around the pole so that the pole is touching the nozzles of that quad. I'm then going to take the two balloons with the pole in between it and wrap them around each other, and this will lock the balloons to the pole, and that way they won't pop off during the party. Now on top of this, I'm going to take my first set of red quads and set those directly on top and attach them in the same way. So put them around the pole and wrap the two balloons with the pole in between it around each other, locking them in place. I'm then going to arrange the balloons in the current quad so that they're nestled between the balloons below it. So you should have one balloon sitting in between the two balloons below it. From here, I'm going to continue to add red quads until I have 4 of them all stacked together. Now, if you'd like, I have written instructions available for today's project, and I'll have those linked in the description box below. If you join my Patreon at my Party Maker level, you'll have access to not only today's plans, but my entire library of balloon recipes and digital party plans. You can also check that out below. Now, once we've got our first 4 red quads on, we're going to add our black quad in the same manner. Once the black one's in place, we can then finish putting all of our red quads on and top it all off with our large 9-inch white quad. Next, we can crown our column with the Jingle Bell spray, and I'm going to set that right in the center on top of the white balloons. And using the tail ends of that uninflated black balloon, I'm going to stretch one of those tails down underneath one of the white balloons and then wrap it in a figure-8 pattern around several of those balloons to hold it in place. Then once you've wrapped it a couple times, just let the tail go and it'll disappear into the column. Repeat that with the other tail so it's nice and secure, and then you can arrange the jingle bells by twisting those black 260s around until you're happy with the spray. The final element we need to add is the gold belt buckle. I'm going to center this right over one of the black balloons in the column, and I'll attach this using a couple of glue dashes. Now I'm going to put 4 of these on the back side of the belt buckle, and you can flip the belt buckle back and forth and see which side you want facing out. Whichever side you want facing the column, go ahead and place 4 of these glue dashes, remove the paper backing, and then we're going to align the belt buckle up over the center of that black balloon, making sure all the sides are nice and square. Once you're happy with the placement, just rotate those gold balloons until those glue dashes stick to the black one, and then you can take a step back and admire your work. This fun and festive column is now ready for your next holiday party. I hope you're inspired by today's project and give this one a try. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing below. I'd also love to have you join our Patreon group if you'd like to up your party planning game. So until the next time, you can check out some of my other videos over here, which includes even more holiday balloon projects. So until then, remember, stay creative everybody. Bye!